29 minutes on to 7 o'clock. Good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, Petite Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. Welcome to Good Morning Grenada for today. It is Friday. Can you imagine this? It's already Friday. Yeah, it's Friday, the 10th day of April, 2026. Now, I know of a couple who is celebrating a wedding anniversary today. All right? Happy anniversary to you. Okay? And the 10th of April, 1999 was that date. Yeah, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope all is well with everybody. It's a good day to have a good day in a good way. I'm trying to get my live up, and for some reason, I'm not getting it. Let me see. Ah, here it comes. I hope you all are having a wonderful morning thus far. Evelyn, good morning. Jillian, good morning. Veronica, good morning. Hope you all are doing fine. But of course, let's start it with our customary way of starting it. All right, gracious Father, the giver of all good gifts, I bow before you this Friday, my heart brimming with gratitude for the blessings of this week. As I prepare to usher in the weekend, I seek your continued guidance and favor. As I wind down from the week's labor, I pray for a peaceful and restful weekend. Bless my home, bless my family and my friends. In Jesus' matchless and powerful name we pray. Amen and amen and amen. Tone, good morning to you, my bro. Hope you're doing fine. Here's the Friday's blessings. And he shall seek me and find me when he shall search for me with all your heart. That's from Jeremiah 29 and verse 13. God has promised that the search for him will be worth it. So please, have a blessed Friday and a wonderful weekend. Remember, there is life after weekend. So, don't give it all up over the weekend. There is life after the weekend. All right? Yeah. So let's do this. Yeah. A good day to have a good day in a really good way. Good morning, Hilarion Dudu Gunpot. Good morning, my brother. How are you doing? Hope all is well. He doesn't tell me good morning. He says Grand Rising King. Oh, my old schoolmate, man. The graduating class of 1989, MacDonald College. Good morning. And while at it, good morning, Chief. Yeah. Joan Brathwaite Batson, good morning. Monica, how are you doing? Michelle Bernard is with us. What's Mildred? Mildred, good morning. How are you? Mildred, Yolan is with us. Yep. Hope all is well. Hope all is well with you all. Yeah. Lauren Salim, yeah. How is Hermitage doing this morning, man? Hope all is well. Is New York cold now? Sing it out, sing it out, sing of the goodness. Yeah, he has been good. He has us here today. Nice. How was your week thus far? All right, we've got tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow, that's where the week ends. Yeah, this could be controversial though, but nonetheless, yeah, good. You had a really short week, you had an extended weekend, and yeah. Last week we were here, Good Friday. It's already another week. Indeed, a good day to have a good day. Gigi, Giles, and Denzel, good morning. How are you all doing? ASP Leon McQueen and family, good morning. ASP Alan James and family, good morning. Deputy Commissioner Vanny Cohen. As a matter of fact, before I get myself in problems, good morning to the entire rank and file of the RGPF. There are a few officers that I really don't want to tell morning, you know what I'm saying? But I had to yeah, there are some, okay, let me not go there. 24 minutes on to 7. The word of the day today, that word is outcome. Outcome. O-U-T-C-O-M-E. Outcome. What do you think outcome means? Well, it simply means the final result. Yeah. You did a blood test and the final result, the outcome. Yeah, that's what it means. Outcome, final result. The outcome was successful. Nice. You know how lovely it is when you do a blood test and you see that, you know, it's negative for what you tested, man. Oh my goodness. To all those of you in the hospital beds, wherever you are the geriatric home, good morning to the wonderful folks at the Chichester home. I promised to pass by and my time is just not permitting me because, you know, I got to keep myself well. But I promise that I'll pass by one of these days, you know. Just come and sit and interact with the residents. Yeah, wonderful folks, man. Yeah. I talk about the Chichester home and it brings back some memories, you know. That's where my grandmom was before she transversed. Yeah. That's where she was, man. 23 minutes on to 7. Jerry out there in Canada, good morning to you and the family. Archie, Delia, Daisy, good morning. Good morning, Nigel, my brother. Yeah, how is Nyon and the rest of the family doing? How is wifey? Hope all is well. Curtie, Carly, Cassie, Colleen, good morning. Uncle Glyden, save the wine for me, right? That birthday thing, you know, we had to hook up on that, you understand? Yeah, hope you had a great day. Trebs, Uncle Trevor, yeah. Auntie Elsa and them. Sammy, Zuri, Zavi, Holy Spirit, Skeeter Potty, Curtie, Holy Spirit, Kala, Micah, Daniel, Delia, Robin Givens, Miss Annie, good morning, Ashlyn. Make a joyful noise. The motivational tip of the day is up next. It's a Friday morning. I know somebody is dancing. Yulin is dancing. Reminding us all that it is indeed a good day to have a good day in a good way. Pastor Benedict Newton, good morning. Pastor Laurie Dominic and the First Family. Fill me with your captivating grace. Just like your Petlin, good morning. Petlin, Mafarin, all right. Okay. You'll give my childbirth mark. The wonderful folks in Trinidad and Tobago, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Crawford out there in Bimsha, Barbados. Good morning. Now the motivational tip of the day: strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. Strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. Let me see if I can break this down for you. You know, everybody thinks that in order to be successful, you have to have millions of dollars in the bank and a high accumulation of wealth. Okay, that's fine. That's fine, because the cattle on 1,000 hills are his, and you are not his stepchild, you are his child. So yeah, we are supposed to be prosperous and wealthy. But to be a person of value, when you have this wealth, what do you do with it? Do you leave it in the bank to grow moss, or how do you affect and effect the less fortunate? How do you do that? Then you become a person of value. You understand what I'm saying? You're not only successful, but you're valuable because you are impacting positively the life or the lives of others. You understand what I'm saying? Then you're a person of value, and it doesn't necessarily have to be monetary. You understand? Sometimes just a kind deed. You understand? You have a physically challenged person, an elderly in your neighborhood. You get up and you go sit and chat with them. You help them do some house chores. You understand what I'm saying? Then you become a person of value. Not necessarily the tangible things, you understand? The things that you can feel and touch and see, you know? The invaluable, the intangible things are in most cases more invaluable. Nothing could replace it. Hey, I sound like I'm preaching this morning, bro. I didn't want to go there, you know? Good morning to all the fishermen and farmers of the nation. Hope all is well. If you're going out at sea, please go with the requisite equipment so that in the event you get into any discrepancy, you can call, you can communicate, all right? Let's see what's buzzing this morning. What's making the rounds this morning? All right. Grenada and Venezuela set a timeline for new cooperation initiatives, and River Sally begins the annual Saraka celebration. Now, that's conflicting. Some folks say Salaka, but understand the real word is Saraka. Livingston Nelson, good morning to you. He likes to say Salaka because he's a real culture man, all right? In the region, TNT to send a delegation to Venezuela over energy talks. Internationally, ceasefire strains grow as Trump criticizes Iran and Israel strikes Lebanon. In sports, Carifta 2026 survey to measure the economic impact. That's ongoing. Those are the buzzing stories. They'll be coming up in the AM edition of News, Sports, and the Weather right after. Not yet. Hold on, Dorian. Let me see who else is here first. We still have a little time on our hands, you know what I'm saying? And this morning, you can join us on the conversation. I will be joined by a lawyer out of the U.S., well, Jamaican born, but based in the U.S., and we'll be looking at immigration. Yeah, an immigration lawyer. Good morning. We had a wonderful time yesterday afternoon. I don't know if Eugenia posted them yet, but if you see a boy on AVE TV, you understand? Junior George, good morning. Junior thought I was, this kind of, like I ain't grew up rough, you understand? He thought I went to attend a meeting, and then they were riding off on the ATVs, and he's like, hey, jump on a bike, man. And, he expect me to say, I can't ride a bike, Junior. I rode the BMW, the biggest bike at Grenada at that time. Good morning to the folks in River Antoine. You know what I'm talking about, yeah? Nonetheless, folks, it was a wonderful event, and I urge you to get family and friends and explore Grenada, the rugged areas of Grenada. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I went to the different, not I alone, a team of us, we went to the different sides at the airport, the sides that are fenced wrong with the bike, were able to go there, and oh my goodness, it was fun. Nonetheless, folks, the AM edition of News, Sports, and the Weather comes up right after these messages. Let your Holy Ghost
when the day's done, there's only one place to be. Jump it up. April 25th and 26th, the Grenada James Athletic Stadium comes alive. It's the Classic Lighting Communal Credit Union Invitational Games, the final showdown. Come witness all clubs battle for glory one last time. Gather your posse, take your stand, and jump up for Bankers Association, Hubbards, DG-Cell, Huggins, Grenlec, Nawasa, Prisons, Police, Busmen, and Flow. This is rivalry. This is passion. This is Grenada on fire. April 25th and 26th. Grenada James Athletic Stadium. Don't miss it.
In Grenada, sports aren't just a game. They're a way of life. They teach discipline, teamwork, and resilience. They inspire the next generation to push boundaries and chase excellence. That's why the Investment Migration Agency of Grenada is proud to support sports initiatives as part of our commitment to youth and national development. When we invest in sports programs, we invest in the future. We invest in the health and well-being of our youth, and we invest in broadening Grenada's reach, proudly connecting our athletes, our talent, and our nation to a global community. Together, we all go further. The Investment Migration Agency. Unlock the possibilities.
Right Choice Promotion presents Lyrics and Laughter, the ultimate pre-Mother's Day show. It's coming to the Grenada Trade Center on Sunday, May the 3rd from 5 p.m. Get ready for an evening of non-stop comedy, sweet Caribbean vibes, and pure entertainment. From Trinidad and Tobago, the funniest man in the region, Errol Fabian.
She said not even my shoes, I said no.
Humorous Calypsonians, Trinidad Rio.
Going back to basics.
And the Calypso princess herself, Kareen Ashton from the Spice Isle. 2 decades of legend, Randy Isaac, Little Reds, plus local comedy king, Robert White, Dillian Walters, Fat Man George, and Kareem Alexis, delivering lyrical mastery, 11-time Calypso Monarch scholar, all backed by the Heatwave Band, with special musical treats from Lyndon Langdon on sax and Jaleli Moses on violin. It's lyrics, it's laughter, it's music, it's vibes. Tickets just $75. Available now at gotofed.com and other outlets island-wide. Treat mom, treat your partner, treat yourself. Lyrics and laughter. Sunday, May the 3rd, 5 p.m. Grenada Trade Center. Don't miss it.
This is the morning edition of news for today, Friday, April 10th, 2026. In the headlines, Grenada and Venezuela set timeline for new cooperation initiatives. River begins annual Saraca celebration. In the region, TNT to send a delegation to Venezuela over energy talks. Internationally, ceasefire strains grow as Trump criticizes Iran. Israel strikes Lebanon. And in sports, Carifta 2026 survey to measure economic impact. The details to these and more after these messages.
Grenada, we are back. Our senior women's national team returns to the pitch for a massive CONCACAF W qualifier, and they need your power behind them. Tuesday, April 14th, Grenada James Athletics Stadium, Grenada versus Cayman Islands. Kickoff 5 p.m. This is national pride. This is passion. This is the road to glory. Tickets, adults just at $25, children $10, and kids under 12 get in free. Get your tickets now at gotofed.com or at these outlets: Chucky's Bar, Grenadian Optical, St. George's, and Spiceland Mall. GFA office. Bring your flags, bring your voice, and come support our Grenada women's national team as they battle for victory. Follow the journey on social media at Grenada Football Association. Grenada versus Cayman Islands, April 14th, 5 p.m. Be there and stand with Team Grenada.
As we look ahead to 2026, we're committed to elevating Grenada's presence on the global stage. Our integrated tactical focus includes media relations, travel trade engagement, sales activation, and digital campaigns. These efforts are designed to ensure visibility and establish leadership in our niche pillar marketing. We invite you to join us on this journey by supporting our initiatives and sharing the beauty of our tri-island state with the world. Together, we can make 2026 a year of growth and success for our islands. Whether you're a local stakeholder, a travel enthusiast, or someone who simply loves Grenada, your involvement is crucial to our success. Thank you for your continued support. Let's make 2026 a year to remember.
Good morning, everyone. With the details, I am Gordon Joseph. Acting President of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, says Grenada and Venezuela have agreed on a start date for a series of cooperation programs following high-level talks. The announcement came after a cabinet meeting during her official visit to Grenada. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell says discussions covered key areas including energy, agriculture, education, trade and tourism, with both sides identifying focal groups to advance the initiatives. Rodriguez described Grenada as a model of resilience and highlighted plans to expand cooperation, including people-to-people exchanges and improved air and maritime links across the region. The community of Riverside is set to come alive tomorrow as Grenadians gather for the annual Feast of Thanksgiving, also known as Saraka. The event celebrates African ancestral traditions and community unity, with the main observance today, April 10th. Chairperson of the Life of Riverside Organization for Development, Anika Happy Edwards, said the event kicked off at 5 a.m. this morning.
In celebration of our Feast of Thanksgiving at 5 a.m. with the blowing of the conch shell to signify that the day is here, and cooks and households should get up and get ready as we start to prepare. After which we are going to be led with the blessing of the produce from the land by an elder in the community or someone in the home. Households will come together with others that they invite us to and have a breakfast. Food, we have 45 households cooking. 45 households cooking this year. So you can go in different households. They're going to be warm and welcome. And that's what Riverside people is about. We want people to come and eat. We want people to be a part of this feast with us.
The Saraka village opens later today at 4 p.m. Organizers say the celebration will feature drumming, nation dance, and other cultural performances, highlighting the richness of Grenada's heritage. That's all the local news at this time. Stay with us. The regional and international developments, they are straight ahead. In the region, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Kamala Persad-Bissessar, has announced that Trinidad and Tobago will send a diplomatic delegation to Venezuela to secure its share of oil and gas resources. The discussions are expected to focus on joint energy projects, including the Dragon gas field, for which Trinidad and Tobago received a license from the United States to begin negotiations, despite sanctions on Venezuela. The Prime Minister says the mission is aimed at protecting the country's economic and energy security amid ongoing regional challenges. A former member of parliament in Jamaica has been granted bail of $300,000 on incest charges. The former lawmaker linked to the People's National Party was arrested earlier this week following allegations involving his teenage daughter. Authorities say the alleged incident occurred in January and the accused identity is being withheld to protect the minor. As part of his bail conditions, he must report weekly to police and have no contact with the complainant. Looking further afield, U.S. President Donald Trump has criticized Iran over its handling of oil shipments through the Straits of Hormuz, highlighting growing tensions around a fragile ceasefire. Confusion continues over whether Lebanon is included in the agreement as Israel carried out fresh strikes targeting Hezbollah positions. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says talks with Lebanon will begin soon, focusing on disarming Hezbollah and restoring stability. Mexican Army divers have rescued a miner who was trapped for 2 weeks in a flooded tunnel in Mexico. 42-year-old Francesco Zapata Najera was found 300 meters on the ground after a mine collapse in the state of Sinaloa left 4 workers trapped. Rescuers located him after more than 300 hours of searching, guided by the light from his torch. He was taken to the hospital and is reported to be in stable condition. One minor remains missing, while another was previously rescued and one confirmed dead following the March 25th incident. That's the regional and international news. The sporting segment is straight ahead. Good morning, sporting fans. Lone item in sports this morning, an economic impact assessment survey of the 53rd Carifta Track and Field Championship is being conducted to evaluate the benefits of hosting the event in Grenada. The initiative aims to measure economic, social, and tourism impacts, including spending by visitors, teams, and officials, as well as effects on jobs and business activity. The survey is a joint effort involving the Ministry of Finance, the Grenada National Sports Council, and the Carifta 2026 Local Organizing Committee. The assessment is an ongoing process and is expected to provide key benchmarks for future events. That's all the sports we've got at this time. We'll have more sports in our luncheon edition and our primetime newscast. Stay with us. The weather forecast is straight ahead.
Something big is coming. On April 10th, freedom takes center stage. Are you ready to live free? It all begins April 10th.
And folks, for the latest weather forecast, we join forecaster Nicole Jones at the forecast desk at the MBIA. Good morning, Nicole.
Hi, good morning to you and your listeners. Here's the weather for today, Friday the 10th of April, 2026, as recorded at Morris Bishop International Airport. Presently, the weather is fair. Winds are from the southeast at 12 miles per hour. Barometric pressure is 1014 millibar, which is above normal and rising. The present temperature is 26.9 degrees Celsius, relative humidity 81%. Yesterday's maximum temperature was 29.9 degrees Celsius. Last night's min was 26.1 degrees Celsius. Over the past 24 hours, trace millimeters was recorded here at Morris Bishop International Airport. Hence, the total for the month remains at 9.5 millimeters. Now we move to the public forecast valid for today and tonight. The weather is expected to be mostly fair and hazy, with light isolated morning and overnight showers during partly cloudy spells. Maximum temperature today is 30.5 degrees Celsius. The winds are expected to be easterly to southeasterly at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Seas moderate with wave 5 to 7 feet in open waters. A small craft advisory is in effect. High tide today will be at 9 a.m., low tide at 4 p.m. Sunset today will be at 6:19. Sunrise tomorrow will be at 5:57. Just to repeat the public forecast valid for today and tonight. Mostly fair and hazy with light isolated morning and overnight showers during partly cloudy spells. Maximum temperature 30.5 degrees Celsius. Reporting from the Morris Bishop International Airport, I'm Nicole Jones. Do have yourself a wonderful morning.
Have a great weekend, Nicole. Thank you very much. Folks, the weather forecast came to you with the kind compliments of our dear friends from Rennick & Thompson Company Limited.
Claim your keys, open the door to more than you imagined before. New home, fresh start, make moves and play it smart. Expand, invest or renew. ACB's right there with you. With ACB Home Advantage Mortgages, you get up to 100% financing, reduced fees, and a $100,000 unsecured credit card. Claim your keys, open the door to more than you imagined before with ACB.
Terms and conditions apply.
It's 7 o'clock, and to end the news, a recap of the headlines. Grenada and Venezuela set a timeline for new cooperation initiatives. Riverside prepares for annual Saraca celebrations. In the region, Trinidad and Tobago to send a delegation to Venezuela over energy talks. Internationally, ceasefire strains grow as Trump criticizes Iran and Israel strikes Lebanon. In sports, CARIFTA 2026 survey to measure economic impact is ongoing. That has been the morning edition of news for today, Friday, the 10th day of April 2026. On behalf of the entire news department and all those who made this newscast possible, I am Gordon Joseph, thanking you for viewing and listening, wishing you a productive day, a safe, enjoyable weekend, and extending that invitation to you to stick and stay with the network, because we are with you anywhere and everywhere. Have a good morning, everybody.
Distributed by Echo Blue Limited. Visit us on the Lansopine Main Road or call 405-4818.
Go paperless with e-billing. Get your Grenlec bill straight to your email inbox faster and more convenient with myaccount.grenlec.com. Sign in to myaccount.grenlec.com where you'll be directed to the home screen. Under additional options and paperless billing, hit sign up. Enter the email where you'd like to receive your bills. Check the accounts you want, then click Sign Me Up. It's that easy. Your bills now come straight to your email inbox. Switch to e-billing and put the power in your hands.
But when you need someone to help you to your feet, I'll be that beacon to your highest peak. I'll be right next to you, no, I will never leave. Come on, take my hands, we got everything we need. Cause you can look to me whenever you're in need. Just call on me and I'll be on my way. I'll be by your side, never to divide. The light that shines our way. Wherever you run it, we'll be right there with you. Wherever you run it, we'll make your dreams come true. Next time, next time, next time, right next to you.
Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
The Presentation Brothers College and the St. Joseph's Convent St. George's Choirs presents Voices Lifted in Hope.
Everybody shout it.
An uplifting, inspiring experience featuring the joint choir for the first time in youthful exuberance, along with students from other secondary schools across Grenada. Join us on April 18th at the Grenada Trade Center, starting from 7 p.m. Adults pay $40, students pay $20, and VIP for $80. Voices Lifted in Hope. Come out and support the nation's youth as they showcase their talent. April 18th at the Grenada Trade Center. Do not miss this.
The amendments to the existing Drug Abuse Prevention and Control Act shall allow for the decriminalization of cannabis in Grenada. It permits the possession of up to 56 grams of cannabis and 15 grams of resin for individuals aged 21 and older.
The amendment allows for the growth of up to 4 cannabis plants per household for medicinal, therapeutic, or horticultural purposes. The amendment provides legal framework for the Rastafari use and cultivation of cannabis as a sacrament in registered places of worship and at exempt events.
Amendments to the Drug Abuse Act also mandates the expungement of past criminal records and the immediate discontinuance of pending court cases for minor cannabis offenses.
The amendment replaces criminal charges for those aged 18 to 20 with mandatory rehabilitation and counseling, ensuring no criminal record is created for young adults. Amendments to the Drug Abuse Act centers on the decriminalization of cannabis and not full legalization.
For more information, kindly contact the Cannabis Secretariat at cannabiscommission@gov.gd. The Cannabis Secretariat, guiding responsible cannabis use and awareness.
Looking to shop online from your favorite stores like Amazon and Shein? With GPC Global, it's never been easier. Get your very own US address and shop from around the world. With GPC Global, you can order the latest trends and must-have items, all delivered straight to Grenada to your closest post office for your pickup. We offer the cheapest rates, and our service is reliable and quick. No more waiting for weeks for your packages. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Join the Grenada Postal family today and start shopping smarter. Visit us online at www.grenadapostal.com or call us on 437-POST. That's 437-7678. GPC Global, your gateway to the world.
Claim your keys, open the door to more than you imagined before. New home, fresh start, make moves and play it smart. Expand, invest or renew. ACB's right there with you. With ACB Home Advantage Mortgages, you get up to 100% financing, reduced fees, and a $100,000 unsecured credit card. Claim your keys, open the door to more than you imagined before with ACB.
Terms and conditions apply.
Are you looking for a reliable, affordable, and customer-friendly pharmacy? Look no further than Hills and Valley Pharmacy, the nation's leading healthcare products and services provider. We are committed to serving you at convenient locations. Find an extensive and affordable selection of prescription and over-the-counter drugs and medical supplies at Church Street, Hillsborough, Carriacou, Jubilee Street, Grenville, St. Andrew, near the bus terminal, and Halifax and Grenville Street, St. George. Our committed team is always available to offer valuable assistance for managing your health and wellness. Discover the additional benefits of our wholesale distribution on Halifax Street and our Medcare Center on Grenville Street, where we provide in-house physiotherapy, massage therapy, doctor consultations, and eye care services.
All right, folks, it's now 9 minutes after 7 o'clock, and this time I'm joining Sergeant Troy Paul from the Traffic Department of the RGPF for this morning's traffic report. Sarge, I saw you on patrol yesterday, man.
Yes, absolutely.
High profile.
Repeat that again?
I said you were on a high-profile detail.
Absolutely. That's what we engage in when we have to.
Okay. So what's happening traffic-wise this morning?
It's a quiet morning. A pleasant morning again to all our listeners, especially our drivers and pedestrians at this time. Again, as I said, it's a quiet morning this morning, and the sun is out in all its glory. Outside is pretty much we expect what we call a beautiful day today. Rain is nowhere in sight, but however, it is one where we know that a lot will happen as it relates to today. It's Friday, but as we focus on this morning as it relates to the traffic, it's rather a quiet where traffic is flowing. We have a light to moderate traffic in most of the areas, especially our towns and all the adjoining roads, including Carriacou and Pitimatic at this moment. School is still closed, but however, we anticipate that throughout the day it will increase. Knowing fully well that school will about to be reopened on Monday, persons may have to get their last-minute things back to school. It's not one where we have that heavy shopping, but at least persons will definitely be out getting stuff for for back to school, some of the teachers, some of the persons, especially in areas. So as we focus, as again I said on this morning, we expect the traffic to get a little bit heavy as we get closer to 8 o'clock hour. But as it stands now, the traffic is light to moderately flowing in most of the areas. Calivini, lights, it is just a little heavier than the lighter flow, but it is still not alarming as it relates to, and also the St. Paul's area this morning. So definitely, persons traveling along the roads can do so with a sense of easement at this particular time, heading to whatever destination that they have to. We have no reported accidents, no unwanted obstruction, unnecessary obstruction, with the exception of persons indiscretionary parking in some of the areas. So far, persons can travel freely through most of the areas in the Tri-Island state of Grenada. As we dive right into the accident state for the past 24 hours, and happy am I to report that we do have a reduction in reported accidents yesterday. I'm not too sure if maybe a lot of the officers on the streets have persons driving in the manner that they should be driving. And we do have a total of 3 minor accidents reported for the past 24 hours. And they are as follows: Traffic Headquarters, 1 minor, then the Davis Police Station, 1 minor, and the Guam Police Station, 1 minor, giving us 3. And that is what I like to hear on a morning time. And I wish that the accident state can remain like that every day, so as I can report that to the nation so that they can smile when I am smiling at the same time. But nonetheless, we have to do what we have to do, and at that moment I encourage the entire driving population, even the pedestrians, to drive and to use the road network safely. We have an obligation, and we definitely will have to do what we have to do from the driver's perspective, from the pedestrian perspective, and also from the traffic department perspective, as we encourage road safety for all persons using the road network. So let us continue to drive as we approach the weekend. We know persons may have social drinks and so forth. We want to encourage persons about the drinking and driving, the fatigue driving. If you're tired, take a rest. If you're driving at night, make sure that your headlamps and so forth are working properly, and we continue to practice safe driving. It is a lot have to do with obeying traffic signs, etc. And let us put down the mobile devices and avoid distraction. We do not have any cruise ship in our ports today, so we definitely will have a fire as it relates to tourists and moving through and towns and our hotspots in Grenada. So that is a plus again on a Friday. But definitely we know what happens tomorrow. We definitely will have what we call Reggae Fest tomorrow, and we definitely have a traffic plan in place that would accommodate that event. It will definitely be a big event, one of the biggest so far for the time where we're, as reported, the VIP, a lot of the VIPs tickets were sold. So as it relates to Reggae Fest and the traffic situation for tomorrow, just want to let persons know as early as possible that for parking, well, no parking, I will start with, that the entire Melville Street, well, not the entire, but from the bus terminus right up to Cherry Hill will be no parking on both sides of that road for persons attending. Both sides of the River Road will be no parking as well, and the Queensback Ring Road, the Cemetery Hill will be no parking as well, and a portion of the Mount Rush Public Road will be no parking as well. So persons, please take note as it relates to areas that you should not be parking, and that is the close proximity of the environs of the stadium will be no parking to avoid any, because to accommodate the heavy volume of traffic that we will expect at the National Stadium. So persons parking VIP will be the Kirani James Athletic Stadium, that entire area there. Also, a portion of the Gate 6 will be for the VIP. Yeah, in addition to that, the VIP area would also, the Gate 6 area would also accommodate staff, caterers, and administrative staff of the event. And as we go back to VIP again, so the VIP area, as we stated, it will be the Kirani James Athletic Stadium, a portion of Gate 6, and the Wesley College ground to accommodate these VIP persons. The general parking will be at the left as you enter from the Humbag Bridge, where we normally would have the VIP parking for the cricket stadium. So the general parking will start there, and we also have the Ariza car park And there are other places that may be considered, which is in the making for general parking for the event. Remember, I'd also be mindful that there will be shuttles from the Ariza Park car park to the stadium. So persons, if you park in that area, you will be shuttled to the stadium, so you do not have to worry about you having a park by the stadium once you park by the Ariza Park car park. So you will be shuttled back and forth from to and from the stadium. So persons, be mindful of where you can park based on your ticket, especially ticket holders, and be mindful of the no parking areas, which is general for everybody. And we want to let persons know that persons indiscriminately parking in areas where we cause obstruction in areas that is prohibited will definitely be either ticketed, clamped, and towed. So on the vehicle, you have to pay the wreck fee and so on. So please be mindful. It will be a major event. And however, the traffic department will do all in its power to ensure that there is a seamless and effective traffic flow for that event. As we dive right back into the traffic this morning, and we know as we get closer to the 8 o'clock hour, we definitely will have a slight increase. As we saw yesterday, it was not that heavy as we expected. We expect a similar approach, but however, it's Friday, and anything can happen on a Friday, but we want to encourage persons that let us leave home on time so that we arrive to work or whatever we going on time so we can avoid being late or having to meet some of the traffic congestions that we may have on our nation's road. And that is all that we have on my end this morning. Anything from you this morning?
Not really. I'm just wondering how the traffic department, well, not just the traffic department, but the RGPF will deal with that influx of individuals at the stadium tomorrow night. When I look at the cast and the preparations that I've seen people making for that event, I don't know if Grenada could hold that number of people.
That is a $1 million question, but however, the traffic department will do all in its power, as I've stated, to ensure that we try our best to make sure that it works. And we anticipate that there will be some challenges, but we have a team that is capable and more than capable of dealing with situations like these. We just want to encourage the general public to be patient and cooperative in these times as we try to execute one of our most I'm trying to look for the best and more appropriate word here. But as we try to execute that traffic plan tomorrow night, so we look forward to your cooperation from the general public to be patient. Be patient.
And I know we will be. I mean, we've done it before, and we can do it again, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I give the RGPF the kudos, by extension the traffic department. You all have a way of making it work. And our people are very cooperative, so, it would be a walk in the park.
We look forward to that.
Have a great celebrative weekend, Sarge, and get some rest after Saturday night, because Monday morning we'll be back at it if the good Lord permits.
Absolutely. You have a good one, a blessed one as well, the entire team at GBN, and to the entire rank and files of the RGPF and to the Commissioner of Police.
Have a great one. Folks, that has been the traffic report. It's 19 minutes after 7 o'clock. We take a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we'll get into the conversation. And let me just remind you that the conversation with the immigration lawyer this morning, it will start right after the BBC. That's right after 8 o'clock. Okay, so we look forward to that this morning. We've got an extended conversation this morning. I look forward to this. We'll be back after this.
The Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited is advising customers of fraudulent text messages that have been circulating stating that your online account has either been placed on hold, frozen, or suspended due to unusual activity or incomplete verification. This message directs you to click a link and enter your personal information, which can include login credentials to restore access. Please note that this is a scam and is not from the Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited. Customers are therefore advised to immediately delete and report any suspicious links. And please remember that the Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited will never ask for your PINs, passwords, or your 16-digit debit or credit card numbers. If you think you've clicked a suspicious link, please email us at support@grenadaco-opbank.com or call the Grenada Cooperative Bank Limited at 440-2111. That's concerning this scam alert.
St. David! Blaze done, no! It's been a while, and now we're back in a big way! How big? We're talking $40,000 in cash money bingo big! And it's all going down Saturday, April 18th, inside Mall Mount, Plainfield. Get your tickets now, only $35 for one, or $60 for two. Make it a date. Mall Mount, Plainfield, Saturday, April 18th. St. David's, we're back! Blaze done, no!
Something big is coming. On April 10th, freedom takes center stage. Are you ready to live free? It all begins April 10th.
The Ministry of Agriculture's investment of approximately $1 million in pineapple production is taking shape. The investment is set to significantly reduce Grenada's dependence on imported pineapples, as well as to lengthen the availability of the fruit throughout the year. Over 70,000 pineapple plantlets were introduced to local farmers from September 2025, with 48 large-scale farmers cultivating between 1,000 to 1,500 plantlets, while several small-scale farmers had the opportunity to plant quantities of 300 or 500 plantlets. The project also engaged farmers in 15,000 plantains and over 20,000 banana plantlets. 2 nurseries were also established at the Maribor and Grambras estate and one in Carriacou for the purpose of supplying planting material to farmers for the expansion of the project. Subsequent planting at different months of the year, in combination with artificial flower induction, will contribute to further extension of the availability of fresh fruit expected to hit the market by December of this year. The Ministry of Agriculture, Lands and Forestry, enhancing Grenada's food and nutrition security.
The Grenville Cooperative Credit Union introduces its new digital platform, managing your finances at any time from anywhere.
As a part-time student, balancing work and studies can be a real challenge. But with GCCU's digital app, these worries are no more. My parents can now remotely transfer funds to my account and I can check my balance at any time, giving me the freedom to achieve my goals.
My days can be long and tedious. With this app, I can ensure my loan is paid on time, transfer funds to someone else's account, and check my balances. I don't have to rush to do business during my lunch hour or after work anymore.
With this app, I can request checks to pay my suppliers, letters for my business transactions. I don't have to leave my farm to go stand in line.
The Grenville Credit Union digital platform. It's convenient and secure banking right at your fingertips. Download the app today from the Play Store or App Store or call 442-8602, 459-4325 or 416-8467 for further information.
Welcome. Good morning. It's 25 minutes after 7 o'clock. I've got with me in studio on the first leg of the conversation this morning my good friend, Mr. Andrew Hits Phillip.
Good morning. Good morning.
I get it right?
Yes. Preferably just hits.
Just hits.
Yeah,
but I mean, come on. I had to let people know your name. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. I'm great. Just keep continuing to do the work, and this morning I'm excited because the project that I just released, I put a lot of work into it and had a lot of fun doing it, and I'm really happy to share it.
Well, let me ask you this: How was and for folks who do not know, Andrew Hits Phillip, he is a cultural icon, if you want to call him that. He's into music production, and he's also a singer.
And songwriter.
Yeah,
and engineer.
And, okay.
It's a long story. But to summarize it, the journey started with the talent search when I was in secondary school, and we got the opportunity to work with Dr. Trevor Friday in studio as a prize for winning that. And me and him, we clicked, and we worked together for a lot of years.
You have my skill.
Yeah. Yeah, he was my first mentor, and I met some Trinidadians working with him, and then in 2007 I went to Trinidad, and that's where I started really, making moves in terms of writing for like the Marshall Montano, the Blacks, the Kess, Patrice Roberts, etc., and working with the Roy Cape All Stars band. And so to summarize everything and get to the future, get to know, that entire journey took me through a process where I learned in detail songwriting, arrangement, composing. I also learned engineering. So I write, produce, compose, and engineer everything that I do now, from start to finish, and sing. Yeah.
Wow.
So from start to finish, I'm capable of doing everything, and I've done it for many years.
I've been using that phrase in recent days quite a lot, the total package in wrestling, Lex Luger,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So you're Lex Luger in music and Grenada?
Well, it's blessings. Let me just put it that way. It's blessings, because I every step on my career, I ended up in a situation that taught me at something different. So like the years I spent in the All Stars, I really got to understand how the brass men would sit and arrange the brass for the different songs, and how the musical director would direct the band and say, hey, you playing too much at this point. Okay, hold it down here. Okay, we want this to happen here because we want this impact after. We're going to cut at this point in this song and start this next song for the excitement factor. So just getting to see them go through that process on a daily basis, and touring with them and experiencing other bands as well. I got to really understand arranging and why you would do certain things, why you don't let the sax man and the bassist solo at the same time, for example, and stuff like that. And so just getting into different rooms and meeting different people over the years, including traveling to the US and working with arrangers and producers over there, I just got the opportunity to learn more and more and more, and it really helped me, fill in different gaps. So, including the engineering, the studio I worked in Trinidad and Tobago was headed by Martin Mice Raymond, who was the premier master and engineer in Trinidad. He had, when you walk into the studio, just see a list on the wall of different road marches he had mastered from the 90s come up. And so having him again as a mentor, when I'm in the studio, he wouldn't just let me compose or produce. He's like, all right, this is why I use the EQ this way, this is why I use the compressor this way, this is how you master, this is this, and he would make sure and teach. So I've been fortunate to fall into situations where I was able to learn in different things, and this is like since 2007, so that's like 19 years. So I mean, it might sound like a lot when I say that I do all the different stages, but over such a long period of time, I've had a lot of practice.
Okay, wow. In your journey, what would you say, or who would you say is the person, other than Trevor Friday, who got you into it? Mm-hmm. Who what we would say, wet your foot, right? Mm-hmm. Who would you say is that most impactful person that you encountered in your career?
I would say Blacks. For multiple reasons, and most recently, the reason that resonates the most for me was his journey. Because when I joined the band, he had just started having like major hits. He had just had Dirty and Tusty and a couple of those songs from like 2005, 2006 coming up there. And he would always talk about how many years he spent in different bands, from Blue Ventures to the All Stars, and how many years he spent on stage performing and doing covers, and seeing other artists like Destra come and join the band, get a hit and leave, and Marshall come in and sing with the band for a year, and this one and the other coming in, getting the hit songs and leaving, the Nigel and Marvin, the Kurt Allen, etc., etc. And he spoke about how many years he grind, and people say he too fat and he too black and he too ugly and he too this and that, and he just did not give up. He continued, and from the time he started getting them, he just continued to get them up until his passing, and he left this earth as what we would say the people's champion.
Yeah, because his music is still resonating, you know. Wow. I associated with you in recent years, but I never knew you had all that under your belt, man.
A lot of people don't, because the thing about my journey is that it happened prior to social media. But when I was in Trinidad and grinding and doing all of these things, it was still on MSN Messenger, and I still had to go to a payphone and get a card to call home and talk to my family every so often, you know. And we still had Magic Jack.
Wow.
So the social media wasn't what it is now. Like now you see people on these journeys and it's front and center, because all you need to do is take your camera phone and take a video and post it quick.
Yeah.
I don't want to date myself, but you know, we still had Blackberries and camera phones was just coming in.
Wow. But let me, I mean, now having, you know, gotten that from you, it means that you're in a strategic position to evaluate Grenada comparatively to Trinidad, and your interaction with other big artists and producers and engineers and so forth. Let's look at the transition of Grenada's musical productions, not just the production, but our artists, that's our creative sector, evolving to where it is now. Comparatively, how do you look at it? Trinidad, Grenada?
No, it's a great thing. That's how I look at it. Because all right, two things that are true is that we are smaller per capita, and we have a smaller population. So Trinidad has 2 million plus people. We have 100,000 or 110,000 based on, you know, the time of the year. And so that being said, there is far more opportunity in Trinidad for, let's say, for example, bands to gig year round, for artists to perform year round. There's so many more opportunities. There's institutional learning, because the steel pan and music in Trinidad is a huge thing, because they claim and hold on to calypso strong as well as steel pan. So music programs in Trinidad is a big thing. They also had a world-class studio. The name slips me right now, but P. Diddy, well, I shouldn't call him first, but like Michael Jackson and others had rented out the studio in the 80s and 90s. So Trinidad has had infrastructure for a very long time. So they've been in front, so to speak, in the race for a very long time. And now with the advent of technology and accessibility, more accessibility to be able to create and express your art, and so now with the computer and, you know, digital workstations and home studios, we seeing what our talent does here with the, how should I say, having had a slower start, it's amazing. We're getting to that place where we're evolving quickly and guys are understanding the craft faster. I mean, the tools of today are much easier to use than back then, before you had to, you know, use reel-to-reel tape, etc. No, you just cut and paste and you export your WAV file, you export your MP3. It's a much faster process. But that being said, we are taking advantage of the tools of today, and the guys are really expressing and pushing their creativity in a manner that's really impressive. And so I'm glad to see the progress. And yes, there will be those that say there's some kind of things that has come out,
Yeah.
There's some kind of songs that's come out, but I would always be the first to defend and say that happens everywhere. The difference is we only ever get the 10% from any other island that really transcends their borders. But if you actually go and, let's say for example, if you go into Trinidad in early January or late December, when they start playing, like they try playing all the stuff that's released, you'll hear some songs and you'll wonder. But like being in Grenada, you're only going to hear the ones that really cut through, like that, the 20 or 30 songs that really cut through, and vice versa happens. The difference is we still have such a ground element in Grenada where, because of the job and because it's such an organic and organic expression, you're going to be on the streets and you're going to hear some kind of music and you're going to wonder like what, but it's part of the culture. So
okay. I mean, and the way I look at it, people express themselves differently.
Differently. Like Trinidad is very music oriented, whereas we are very drum and chant oriented, and this is all part of our history and all part of our culture.
I'm happy you said that, because my earlier years in singing and so forth, when I wasn't a calypsonian yet, I just did it for the fun, emceeing and then doing one song. I would go down by Less Than Paul or Kenny Phillips, and Kenny Phillips said to me in 1992, 93, thereabout, Grenada has its own sound. Not song, but sound. That time Rhythmics and them were doing that. And as you rightfully said, it was drum oriented, more the drum and the chants.
Yep.
All right?
Yep.
And it seems now, because only 2 days ago I was talking to an old time friend of mine from all the way in Tanzania.
Oh wow, nice.
And she's saying, I am looking at a Grenadian artist, and she's trying to remember her name. Is Little something. I say Little Perry.
Yes.
And she says this song is tearing apart that village where she was. And
wow, nice.
Nice. So for me, knowing where we were, even in my youthful years, with Jambalasi from Moss and hearing where our music is now. I've been to places, for example, just before Carnival, I was in Trinidad. And when I'm hearing Grenadian music playing rotation, I'm like, wow.
Yep.
What exactly can you put your finger on that really pushed that forward motion?
So I would say that we still have something that a number of the other carnivals have started to lose. We still have that connection to the ground. We still have that connection to the organic everyday person. For example, in Trinidad especially, they have moved to that all-inclusive format, and the music has reflected that. So you'll see a lot more grooves, a lot more songs that fit that all-inclusive environment. And because art is always a reflection of the state of the culture, and because of that, you can see that a certain energy tends to be missing in terms of wholesale. Like you'll find the one, like for example, Marshall would release song. He still understands how to craft and construct that heavy power soca sound, so that he fulfills that need. But whereas in the 2000s, you'd find 30, 40 strong power soca songs in Trinidad. You're not really finding them like that anymore because of that shift to that all-inclusive format. Whereas we still have that from the time June, well, you could say the end of June, July start. Almost every Sunday, if you go up country, you must find a village that playing jab. And that jab energy is they beating a bucket, whatever they find that they could beat, whether it's a bottle, a piece of old rim, a bucket, if they had drum, all right, good. And that and chant. So we still have that, and that's still very much apparent in the music, and that organic core connection to the ground, that roots, that foundation, being so strong is what people are gravitating to, because especially now with AI music, people are looking for that human touch more and more.
Okay. All right, folks, I'm speaking with Hits, Andrew Hits Phillips. So we take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we are going to look at his production for 2026. It's 20 minutes onto 8 o'clock. We'll be back after this. Don't you go anywhere.
Choice Promotion presents Lyrics and Laughter, the ultimate pre-Mother's Day show. It's coming to the Grenada Trade Center on Sunday, May the 3rd from 5 p.m. Get ready for an evening of non-stop comedy, sweet Caribbean vibes, and pure entertainment. From Trinidad and Tobago, the funniest man in the region, Errol Fabian.
She said not even my shoes, I said no.
Humorous Calypsonians, Trinidad Rio.
Going back to basics.
And the Calypso princess herself, Kareen Ashton from the Spice Isles. 2 decades of legend, Randy Isaac, Little Reds, plus local comedy king, Robert White, Dillian Walters, Fat Man George, and Kareem Alexis, delivering lyrical mastery, 11-time Calypso Monarch scholar, all backed by the Heatwave Band, with special musical treats from Lyndon Langdon on sax and Jalali Moses on violin. It's lyrics, it's laughter, it's music, it's vibes. Tickets just $75. Available now at gotofed.com and other outlets island-wide. Treat mom, treat your partner, treat yourself. Lyrics and laughter. Sunday, May the 3rd, 5 p.m. Grenada Trade Center. Don't miss it. Grenada, the fire's about to be lit. Get ready for the ultimate grilling showdown. Maggie, King of the Grill 2026 is coming your way. Saturday, May the 30th at the Monrouge Plain Field. The search is on for the island's top grill masters. Do you have what it takes? Bring your flavor and compete in the chicken category, the seafood category, and the bold, most creative grill category, where daring ideas take the crown. And this year, the heat isn't just for adults. Introducing the Junior Grillers category, schools and youth groups. If you are under 18, this is your time to shine. So fire up those coals, sharpen those grilling skills, and get ready to battle for grilling glory. Registration is now open. Call or WhatsApp 405-8458 to secure your spot. Maggie, King of the Grill 2026, Saturday, May the 30th, Monrouge Plain Field. Come for food, stay for the vibes, and witness who will be crowned King of the Grill. Brought to you by Maggie, enhancing the natural flavor of your food.
When the day's done, there's only one place to be. Jump it up. April 25th and 26th, the Kirani James Athletic Stadium comes alive. It's the Classic Lighting Communal Credit Union Invitational Games, the final showdown. Come witness all clubs battle for glory one last time. Gather your posse, take your stand, and jump up for Bankers Association, Hubbards, DigiCell, Huggins, Brenlec, Nawasa, Prisons, Police, Busmen, and Flow. This is rivalry. This is passion. This is Grenada on fire. April 25th and 26th. Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Don't miss it.
In Grenada, sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. They teach discipline, teamwork, and resilience. They inspire the next generation to push boundaries and chase excellence. That's why the Investment Migration Agency of Grenada is proud to support sports initiatives as part of our commitment to youth and national development. When we invest in sports programs, we invest in the future. We invest in the health and well-being of our youth, and we invest in broadening Grenada's reach, proudly connecting our athletes, our talent, and our nation to a global community. Together, we all go further. The Investment Migration Agency. Unlock the possibilities.
Welcome back, viewers and listeners. We just as we about to do the wrap with Andrew Hits Phillips, his production for 2026. How is it going? What's your season like, bro?
So far, I've been spending a lot of time in the studio just trying to make sure I get the music right. And this project that I've released today is available on all streaming platforms: Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, etc. Has 5 songs. So normally I would do one song, then wait, promote it for a while, do another song. But this time I decided I want to do an EP. And this song here that we have in front of us, Late Nights and Early Mornings, is the title song of the EP.
What's the gist behind the song?
I prefer not to give it away, but it's a groovy, okay. So it's a nice song to enjoy. I would prefer people to just hear it and form an opinion. I don't want to influence opinions on this song.
Let's not keep them waiting too long. Let's take a listen.
I come here for late nights and early mornings. My soul, I love me jumping. Feel the rhythm is the vibe. You want me all night. Oh, I love this feeling. Bring the wine, come give me, hey. Give me wine, no stop. Just give me, hey. Baby, just like that. Give me, hey. Give me wine, no stop. Give me, hey. Baby, just like that. No talking. Let me see what you got for me, baby. Slow dancing, like the two of me alone in here. Close your eyes and the crowd just melt away. It's too hungry inside our head. For late nights and early mornings. My soul, I love me jumping. Feel the rhythm is the vibe. You want me all night. Oh, I love this feeling. Bring the wine, come give me.
Okay.
I like how you say it.
As the Jamaicans would say, a big thing that. A big thing that. Great. You produce this?
Yes. Well, this one is a collaboration with a friend of mine from Trinidad, Request Music. So we collaborated on the production on this, and I wrote the song and obviously sang it.
Wow. Okay, so this is now available on all streaming platforms.
On all streaming platforms. So whether you listen on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you like to listen to your music, just add it to your playlist, and it's available today.
What can we expect from Hits 2026?
A lot of fun, and I'm putting in the work. I definitely want to make sure I keep raising the bar on what I deliver. And I feel like I've been doing that over the years, and I want to continue to do that. So I'm not going to, hold back. I haven't 100% decided if I'm doing the calypso yet, but I'm definitely pushing the groovy. I have some power soakers on that same EP. So again, the EP is Late Nights and Early Mornings by Hits, Hitz. So I know most people like to call me Andrew Hits Philip, but that's more of a production title. As artists, when you go on any platform, it's just Hitz, just Hits. Right. Okay. If you look for anything else, you ain't gonna find me.
Okay.
So just look for Hitz. And I'm trying to make sure I put forth a valiant effort, because last year was really great for Grenada musically, and a lot of people coming for Carnival. So if you want to put out music, I would advise that you do the extra work and make sure it's song exceptional, because a lot of eyes on us.
Okay. Well, bro, I want to, from an artist to an artist, I wish you all the best for the season, and from my sitting here, I want to urge you to continue doing what you do. Keep Grenada's flag flying high. The sky is the limit. You're young. You've got what it takes. You have the connections. You have the associations. Use them to your advantage. And I can sit in my hammock when I'm older and say, I interviewed this superstar. Blessings, bro.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I look forward to a great 2026 from you. And all artists, but I'm talking to you this morning.
Yes.
You got to put in the late nights and early mornings.
110%. Right? You see, you get it.
Course,
you get it. There's so many applications.
Of course. All right. So, folks, that's it. I've been talking with Hits. All right. And this is one of his productions for 2026. And it's available on all the streaming platforms. Get it on today.
I come here for late nights and early morning.
St. David! Bless done, no! It's been a while, and now we're back in a big way! How big? We're talking $40,000 in cash money bingo big! And it's all going down Saturday, April 18th, inside Mall Mount, Plainfield. Get your tickets now, only $35 for one, or $60 for two. Make it a date. Mall Mount, Plainfield, Saturday, April 18th. St. David's, we're back! Bless done, no!
Something big is coming. On April 10th, freedom takes center stage. Are you ready to live free? It all begins April 10th.
The Ministry of Agriculture's investment of approximately $1 million in pineapple production is taking shape. The investment is set to significantly reduce Grenada's dependence on imported pineapples, as well as to lengthen the availability of the fruit throughout the year. Over 70,000 pineapple plantlets were introduced to local farmers from September 2025, with 48 large-scale farmers cultivating between 1,000 to 1,500 plantlets, while several small-scale farmers had the opportunity to plant quantities of 300 or 500 plantlets. The project also engaged farmers in 15,000 plantains and over 20,000 banana plantlets. 2 nurseries were also established at the Maribor and Grambras estate and 1 in Carriacou for the purpose of supplying planting material to farmers for the expansion of the project. Subsequent planting at different months of the year, in combination with artificial flower induction, will contribute to further extension of the availability of fresh fruit expected to hit the market by December of this year. The Ministry of Agriculture, Lands and Forestry, enhancing Grenada's food and nutrition security.
The Grenville Cooperative Credit Union introduces its new digital platform, managing your finances at any time from anywhere.
As a part-time student, balancing work and studies can be a real challenge. But with GCCU's digital app, these worries are no more. My parents can now remotely transfer funds to my account and I can check my balance at any time, giving me the freedom to achieve my goals.
My days can be long and tedious. With this app, I can ensure my loan is paid on time, transfer funds to someone else's account, and check my balances. I don't have to rush to do business during my lunch hour or after work anymore.
With this app, I can request checks to pay my suppliers, letters for my business transactions. I don't have to leave my farm to go stand in line.
The Grenville Credit Union digital platform. It's convenient and secure banking right at your fingertips. Download the app today from the Play Store or App Store, or call 442-8602, 459-4325, or 416-8467 for further information.
Choice Promotion presents Lyrics and Laughter, the ultimate pre-Mother's Day show. It's coming to the Grenada Trade Center on Sunday, May the 3rd from 5 p.m. Get ready for an evening of non-stop comedy, sweet Caribbean vibes, and pure entertainment. From Trinidad and Tobago, the funniest man in the region, Errol Fabian.
She said not even my shoes, I said no.
Humorous Calypsonians, Trinidad Rio.
Going back to basics.
And the Calypso princess herself, Kareen Ashton from the Spice Isles. 2 decades of legend, Randy Isaac, Little Reds, plus local comedy king, Robert White, Dillian Walters, Fat Man George, and Kareem Alexis, delivering lyrical mastery, 11-time Calypso Monarch scholar, all backed by the Heatwave Band, with special musical treats from Lyndon Langdon on sax and Jelani Moses on violin. It's lyrics, it's laughter, it's music, it's vibes. Tickets just $75. Available now at gotofed.com and other outlets island-wide. Treat mom, treat your partner, treat yourself. Lyrics and laughter. Sunday, May the 3rd, 5 p.m. Grenada Trade Center. Don't miss it.
Welcome back, viewers and listeners. The conversation continues. It's an extended version this morning. I've got with me once again my friends from the Bank of St. Lucia. They're here to talk about the mutual fund. They had a grand launch yesterday, and the reception that was given to them was awesome. With me this morning, the gentleman is sitting back. He said this morning is ladies' power. So I've got with me Anna and Abby. Good morning.
Good morning.
Wow, you're awesome.
And good morning, Grenada.
Yeah. You're real like Grenada.
I do.
Yeah. Welcome home.
Yeah,
Welcome
thank you.
home. Yeah, we want people. Right. So we're getting back to the fund, right? That mutual fund, that investment tool that we're here promoting. And although we spoke about it earlier in the week.
Yes.
But the official launch was yesterday. And how was that?
Oh, the launch was great. The turnout was really good. Initially we were looking at about 70 people to be there. We were way over that, which was great. I mean, I think it was very well received. And we did a question and answer session at the end, where we got so many questions. We had opportunities to network, mingle, meet everybody after the launch. I would say it was really a success.
Yeah. Abby?
Yeah, for sure. I think the Q&A really demonstrated how interested, the people of Grenada were. The questions were very technical, so it showed some understanding of what it is that we were presenting and also, their interest in the product. So
well, I can tell you one of the reasons why they are so abreast with what is happening. Another financial institution, a local institution, has a program, 2 literacy programs per week. So we looked at that, investment opportunities and investment tools before, so they were exposed to mutual funds and so forth. So you coming now, and the mere fact that it is totally secured and it's within the ambit of ECCB, it's under that, regulated and everything like that. So people are very into it.
Right.
And I can assure you that as soon as Co-op Bank and your other brokers get fully on stream, you can expect that.
Exactly. That's a great point you made about the financial literacy, because we recognize that, for you to get participation in these products, persons have to understand what it is that they're getting involved in, especially where your money is concerned, And so that's a great point, and that's why financial literacy, and education has been such a big part of our mission, because, before you sensitize the public to the products, you have to give them the information that they need to be able to assess these products on the market. And so I'm really glad to hear that Grenada, is pushing that financial literacy so much that, and it showed in the Q&A at our session, it showed a good understanding of what it is that we were speaking about. So.
Yeah, I do have that program on Mondays and Wednesdays, but primarily on Wednesdays, Arise Credit Union comes and talks. We call it program MoneyWise.
Nice.
So we look at all these investment tools and money management, general financial literacy. So I know that Grenadians have an appetite now because they have money saved.
Exactly.
But they're just very timid as it relates to parting with their monies, investing it.
Yes.
So I am absolutely certain that you get a whole lot of gravitation towards that.
Yeah, I mean, we truly hope so. But on the point again about financial education, yesterday one of our brokers, Lawrence Jha, he's with the BOSL Investment Banking Services, in his remarks he was speaking about the level of financial education within the OACS, right? And it's literally a situation where 1 in every 25 people have some type of investment in the OACS.
And that's sad.
Okay, it is, right? But then when you look, at the US, it's a situation where you have 1 in 4 people, right, are invested in something, right? So there's a lot of work to do across the OACS when it comes to financial education. And like Abby was saying, we can't expect people to invest or participate in this product if they don't understand it fully. Right?
And in addition to that, it is also incumbent on financial institutions to make investment opportunities available.
Exactly.
So it's two-pronged approach. One, you educate the people the importance of investment, how to invest, the benefits of investment. Also let them know the downside to investment if you don't invest in the right places and in the right things. And after that, then you provide the investment tools for them, and then they run.
Exactly. Yeah, because you find a lot of people are interested in investing, but they don't even know how to go about doing it, where to access, those products. So when institutions like Bank of St. Lucia put on those products, you're giving people what it is that what they are looking for, and the mutual fund is just one of those opportunities that Bank of St. Lucia, has provided. And it's so great because it's so accessible. It's, it's more on the affordable side. It's easy to get involved in it. So it's a really good thing that, Bank of St. Lucia has done.
I would like you to reiterate for me the 3 tools that you are putting on, the one for saving, the one for growth, the one for that there's a mixture of 2.
Sure. But I think just before we get into that, just again, with what Abby was saying, we've made it very, very affordable because we tend to have conversations with people a lot where they say or they think that you really do need to have a lot of money to invest. That is just a mindset that we have. You need to be a millionaire. You need to have hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to
rich people that could invest.
That's true, right? So that is a mindset that we are actively trying to change because what we have done is that we've made it extremely affordable for the everyday person to participate in this. And at the end of the day, too, we're not saying do not save your money. Right? We are saying, please go ahead, save your money. By rights, when you look at saving, it's more for the short term, your short term goals that you may have, and you should have about 3 times your monthly salary, I believe, saved up. Okay, that's a good
budgeting.
Right.
And even that we covered in the financial literacy program.
Exactly. Right. So once you've had that put aside for those short term goals, then we're saying, look, what is the next step? And the next step would be to invest.
Wealth creation.
Correct. And to have your money start working for you at that point. So the minimum investment is $200 US, which is just about 540 EC dollars, with the BOSL Global Investment Fund, right? That is the name of the mutual fund product. You do have options if you'd like to subscribe to the fund monthly. The minimum is 50 US, just about 140 EC. Right? But you were asking a while ago about the 3 mutual funds that we offer. So we do have the Growth Fund, which is our flagship fund. It is the most aggressive. The funds in there are primarily invested in stocks. So you do get to see those really lovely returns. But of course, with that comes higher risk. Right? And then we have our Income Fund, which would be for the more conservative investor. All right, where these funds are invested in bonds. And then The third one is the balanced fund, where you have a mixture of both the income and the growth. So you get some stocks in there, some bonds in there. If you're not too risk averse, so you want a little bit of risk because you want a high return, but maybe you're not ready for the growth fund as yet. The balance fund would be the best option for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if Abby wants to add on anything to that.
No, I think you covered it well. With our product, while we have 3 mutual funds, you don't have to be invested in one. You could be invested in all 3 and make your own little diversified portfolio that way, where you have some, aggressive exposure to the stock market through the growth fund, but you also balance that with some of the income and the balance fund. So it's free for persons to be able to pick and choose, mix and match based on their needs. And there's a number of factors that do influence which fund might be most appropriate. You look at your investment horizon. So that's the time frame in which you would want to redeem your investment. Of course, for persons who have a longer investment horizon, so maybe on the younger side, they could be a bit more aggressive in their investment approach. They could take on more risk because they have more time to withstand a lot of that volatility we see in the market. So you would find persons on the younger side might feel like, I can take on the risk with the growth fund, but maybe somebody who's close to retirement might feel like, my needs are different. I no longer have that salary at retirement, so I don't want something too aggressive where my value might go down because the stock market is down and then I have to redeem at a lower price. So, being close to retirement, you may want something more safe, more conservative income fund, maybe a little bit of balanced,
One of the questions I know people will have in their minds is your investment in stock. Are you into the US market, the Asian market?
Right. So our fund is USD denominated, but we are a globally diversified fund. So what that means is we're invested all over. So we're invested within our region. We're invested internationally, both the US market, Europe, Asia. So we're all over the place. And the point of that is the whole diversification aspect. If all your investments are concentrated in one place, you have a higher risk, because if something goes wrong within that country or within that sector, energy or something.
If you had bought stocks in the Middle East and oil now, you're
right. So if everything was there, but if only a small portion was there, then while that's suffering a bit right now, other aspects of the market are doing well. So we are globally diversified, and that's one of the advantages of a product like this.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. I mean, I must applaud the Bank of St. Lucia for thinking along those lines and looking for those, the region will remain poor if we do not invest.
Right.
Right? Yes. We will remain consumers unless we invest.
Right.
And, I really want people to understand the importance of this. This is transformative.
Yep. And I think also, in addition to what Abby was saying as well, like she was saying, you don't have to only invest in one of the funds, right? You do have those options. And also, if let's say that you've invested in the income fund, for example, because you figured that maybe you were not ready to take on too much risk, and you do want to switch after a few months or a year or so, whatever time, let's say to the growth fund, because now you maybe feel a little more comfortable, you want to take on, you want to see those higher returns, then you are able to switch at any point in time within the funds. Okay. So if you sign up for the income fund, you can switch to the growth, maybe go back to the balanced. Right. You can switch. Okay.
And one of the advantages of the mutual fund is how easy it is to get in and get out. It's a very liquid fund, and that's one of the advantages, because a lot of the times, when it comes to investing, people don't want to see their money sometimes tied up into something that they cannot. It's locked in. But this is a different type of product. Of course, it's very liquid, meaning you can subscribe today, and if next week you want to pull out, you're free to do that. Of course, at the price of the fund at that time, but it's very liquid, and so persons have that assurance that their money, even if they invest $1,000, it's not locked up forever, that they cannot, for an extended period of time. You are free to come in and come out at any point in time.
And I think to add on to that too, Abby, is the fact that you are able to redeem, like she said, and there's no cost to that. There's no charge. There's no fee at all.
Yep.
All right. So folks out there who again might just want to, because we cultured that way.
Yeah.
We like to know who we're talking with. We know how could they reach out to you.
Of course. So we can be reached via WhatsApp. The number is 758-724-6838. And we're very responsive.
And in addition to that, I know that Grenada Cooperative Bank is going to be one of your brokers here.
That is correct.
All right.
Yes.
And they should be operational soon.
Very, very soon. Very soon. So Grenada Co-op Bank, as well as ACB Grenada as well. So they will be coming on board. But yeah, they can reach out to us on WhatsApp, and we can facilitate, the interview process or the setup process for the customer. Or if you just want a little more information, then we're very happy to do that. Also, we're here in Grenada for another week. Well, I am, and unfortunately, Abby is going back home. She's going back tomorrow evening. But some of us are staying for an additional week. So we are free to, have any conversations, or if anybody wants to set up a little meeting or discussion with us, we're open to that as well.
Contact number again?
758-724-6838. And we're on socials. We're on social media. So you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, at BOSL Global Investment Fund. And of course, our website, boslglobalinvestmentfund.com.
I yearn for the day that when you talk to me here, you can give us a 473 number. Okay?
Very soon.
All right.
It's coming.
Okay, well, again, thank you on behalf of Grenada for offering us that opportunity. And I know that's just the start. There are more to come. And me casa es su casa. Anytime.
Yes, we appreciate that.
So,
thanks for having us.
The pleasure is always ours. Enjoy Grenada.
Thank you.
All right. Folks, we take a quick break. When we come back, we all know what is happening in the U.S. now. For those of us who like traveling to the U.S., if you do not have a visa at the moment, you have this extra requirement, and the whole immigration situation in the U.S. is very volatile at the moment. So I've got with me coming up next, right after this, is an immigration attorney, and we'll be looking at the volatility of the immigration situation. So we look forward to that. Stick and stay with us. We'll be back after these messages. Don't you go anywhere.
Grenada, the fire's about to be lit. Get ready for the ultimate grilling showdown. Maggie, King of the Grill 2026 is coming your way. Saturday, May the 30th at the Monrouge Plain Field. The search is on for the island's top grill masters. Do you have what it takes? Bring your flavor and compete in the chicken category, the seafood category, and the bold, most creative grill category, where daring ideas take the crown. And this year, the heat isn't just for adults. Introducing the Junior Grillers category. Schools and youth groups. If you are under 18, this is your time to shine. So fire up those coals, sharpen those grilling skills, and get ready to battle for grilling glory. Registration is now open. Call or WhatsApp 405-8458 to secure your spot. Maggie, King of the Grill 2026. Saturday, May the 30th, Monrouge Plain Field. Come for food, stay for the vibes, and witness who will be crowned King of the Grill. Brought to you by Maggie, enhancing the natural flavor of your food.
When the day's done, there's only one place to be. Jump it up. April 25th and 26th, the Grenada James Athletic Stadium comes alive. It's the Classic Lighting Communal Credit Union Invitational Games, the final showdown. Come witness all clubs battle for glory one last time. Gather your posse, take your stand, and jump up for Bankers Association, Hubbards, DG-Cell, Huggins, Grenlec, Nawasa, Prisons, Police, Busmen, and Flow. This is is rivalry. This is passion. This is Grenada on fire. April 25th and 26th. Grenada James Athletic Stadium. Don't miss it.
In Grenada, sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. They teach discipline, teamwork, and resilience. They inspire the next generation to push boundaries and chase excellence. That's why the Investment Migration Agency of Grenada is proud to support sports initiatives as part of our commitment to youth and national development. When we invest in sports programs, we invest in the future. We invest in the health and well-being of our youth, and we invest in broadening Grenada's reach, proudly connecting our athletes, our talent, and our nation to a global community. Together, we all go further. The Investment Migration Agency. Unlock the possibilities.
St. David! Bless done, no! It's been a while, and now we're back in a big way. How big? We're talking $40,000 in cash money bingo big. And it's all going down Saturday, April 18th, inside Mall Mount, Plainfield. Get your tickets now, only $35 for one, or $60 for two. Make it a date. Mall Mount, Plainfield, Saturday, April 18th. St. David's, we're back. Bless done, no!
Something big is coming. On April 10th, freedom takes center stage. Are you ready to live free? It all begins April 10th.
Before the digital age, before the world moved at the speed of a click, there was a signal connecting a nation. In 1986, a journey in broadcasting began in Grenada, a journey that would grow into a trusted voice across the country. For 40 years, through radio and television, we've been there for the stories that shaped our nation, the news that mattered, the voices that informed us, the moments that brought us together. Your stories, your voices, your moments. The Grenada Broadcasting Network, 40 years strong, one nation, one network.
Welcome back, viewers and listeners. Extended version of the conversation this morning. As promised, I've got with me in the studio, ladies are first, Junior, so Okay. Diani Winter Funde. She is an immigration attorney out there in the U.S., Jamaican, of course. And Junior George, my ride-along partner. Yeah. I'm gonna switch to my Jamaican vernacular. Awagwan brethren.
And how you say it in Grenada?
What's up?
Oh, really?
Yeah, what's up? What's up?
Oh.
How you doing?
Okay.
And the Jamaican will respond and say, nothing nagwan.
Nothing nagwan. We're there.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I am fabulous, sir. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, the pleasure is all mine. I'm just reminiscing a little. It was a pleasure riding along with you and the rest of the ride-along ATVs yesterday. Yes. I felt young again. Right. Junior, thanks. And to the entire team.
No problem.
Did you feel sore last night, or was it just me? I probably was too tense.
Yeah.
No, I was probably like
he's used to that.
Oh, it's this regular thing for you.
I'm a normal hard worker, so.
I stepped into that one.
Right. Good. So we're talking the volatility of the immigration situation in the U.S. now, how it will impact us as a region. And there isn't anyone more appropriate to discuss that than you. Tell us.
Thank you. First of all, let me say good morning to Grenada. I have been with Mr. Junior George now. I think we soon hit our decade of broadcasting and sharing immigration knowledge to the Caribbean, in particularly Grenada. So first of all, thank you, Grenada, for the warm welcome. I see all the messages. I got you. Thank you all so much. To say that U.S. immigration law is volatile is an understatement.
Okay.
An absolute understatement. It's worse than that.
Yeah.
I think we're lost. We have no leadership, and it's affecting a lot of people, especially people from the Caribbean, because the U.S. has always been our little launch pad to kind of
a little
dream.
Yeah.
Yes, it has been. That's where we're gonna go and change our lives.
Everybody looked forward to going to the Big Apple.
Yeah,
the only problem now, the apple ain't big again.
Yeah, the apple. The apple's still big, but the apple is getting a little bit rotten with a lot of policies that are directly affecting us now. In times past, I think as a Caribbean people, we would say, well, it's not really so much about us. We didn't get a pause. We don't get no ban. We don't get a lot of the harassment. But nowadays, what we're seeing is that it's hitting close to home.
Well, it's actually inside the house.
It's inside the house.
Do you think it has anything to do with racism?
I'm not going to say racism. If I were to say racism, I would have to get into a deep definition of what racism truly is. I think it's more a lot of prejudice, a lot of the economic impact that immigrants are having or taking away from the United States, if I were to be truly honest. And I think as a group, the Caribbean, we've done our part to get some of the backlash.
Right.
We've done our part with some of the crimes that we're committing, and I know I'm going to get backlash for that. But we have not been great citizens in the United States. Some of us have done really well. Yours truly right here. But there's some of us that have gone into the U.S. and we make it bad for others that are coming behind us. And now we're seeing, like I said, it's not so much racism. We're seeing the direct result of some of our actions.
But my question is, why now? Why in this particular dispensation?
Because we're looking at a president or an administration that ran with the promise of we're going to do something about immigration. Remember, prior to this administration, we had 200,000 people per day coming into the border illegally per day.
Okay.
So this administration really ran on a platform of we're going to tighten the borders, and we all didn't know what that was going to look like. But remember him saying we're going to tighten the borders, and that means, and when I say a lot of us Caribbean folks weren't paying attention because we're thinking he meant Latin South America, the LATAM countries, and then we realized, oops, we are in there as well. So that's what we're witnessing.
We're in the net.
We're in the net.
So, do you think, from your professional standpoint, do you think a change in administration will see things differently?
I'm an eternal optimist, and I'm going to say an affirmative yes. I think, because here's the thing too, they're removing, they say, at least 13 million people from the United States. So we have to think about the economic impact of that, right? Who's building the houses? Who's picking the vegetables? I live in the state of Florida. I can tell you there's strawberries on getting bad because there's certain jobs that have immigrants have inherently held those jobs. And now when you take 13 million people out of the United States, so I think at rock bottom, there's only one place to go, and it's up. So I think once we have a change in the administration, we should see some positive changes. I'm positive. It can't get no worse than this, I think.
Right. And from inside of America, what has life been like for immigrants in now? I mean, the daily waking up in the morning to going to bed at night. What that time span? What does it encapsulate?
A lot of immigrants. So prior to this administration, immigrants were prisoners in their own mind. Prior to this administration, they were prisoners because the life of an undocumented person in the United States is not an easy road, you know. It's high stress. Lots of dreams are unlived. Some people have chosen not even to have children. Think about it. They haven't started families. They haven't gotten married, or they've gotten married. It didn't work out. So they live, they live in mental prison. With this administration, now they're living in physical prisons, meaning I'm not going out. I'm not going to the corner store. I'm not going to the mail. I'm not going to pick up the child from the bus stop. They're just in there because they know once they venture out, if they venture out, there's a high probability that they can be detained.
Even when it's not winter time, there's ice.
There's ice. Listen, there's ice. I mean, Caribbean people, we don't like ice to begin with. No ice in my drinks. Yeah. So they're now, I think, a lot of immigrants, Caribbean people. I work a lot with my Caribbean community, and I have first-hand information. They'll call me, Miss Diani, Miss D, Funde, my daughter's graduation is coming up. You think I can go? Those are choices that people are making, I need to go to the hospital. I don't feel well. Can I go? So that's what I mean when I say we have turned immigrants into prisoners in their own homes.
I think one of the things, too, that have to be considered from our perspective as Caribbean people and need to be addressed is you have folks that's traveling to the United States and working with their visitor visa, whether it's someone getting a gig, even some of our artists.
Well, I'm understanding, I don't know if it's true because there's so much fake news on social media, but I'm understanding from some posts that some local artists have had their visa taken away from them because they went working on a visitor's visa.
Yeah, I speak a little bit about that, Funde, because the restriction that applies to persons who are traveling from the Caribbean to the United States, what are the restrictions in terms of work?
So you cannot use your visa for the purposes not intended. I'll repeat. You cannot use a visa for the purpose not intended. So when every visa has a category, they have the visa alphabet. It starts from A, I think it goes down to X. Every visa have a category, A, B, C, D. Most of us are familiar with B. We stop at B.
Yeah.
We have P, if you're going to perform, get a P.
Okay.
There's a visa for everything you're going to do in the United States. So if you say you're going into the United States and you're going to visit, that means you're going to see Mickey Mouse.
Right.
You're going to Disneyland. At no point should you be employed. But as Caribbean people, and my late mother, God rest her soul, she did it too. She got her little B1. And before I know it, I think my mother was employed full-time in the United States on a B1. That's not a purpose for a B1. And yes, they will take it. And our artists in general, I work with a lot of artists from Jamaica. They get a little B1, and before you know it, they're on a stage show, and it's on their social media. And they're getting paid. They will revoke that visa, and it's one of the most difficult things to replace because now you've violated the terms of the visa.
So let's talk Grenada now. I mean, Spice Mass is the biggest mass in the region now, and it's a platform, a springing board for local artists, upcoming as well as those who are already established, that after Spice Mass, everybody is heading for New York and Toronto and so forth. And when they go there, they're performing. So what advice can you give to them? Should they reapply for a visa that they can perform on, which is employment?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a category of visa for artists. For those artists that are extraordinary and well-known, you have an old visa, go get it. It's not hard. And now you can work in the United States. Right? For those that have extraordinary, I've done visas for artists that have led straight into their green cards. to a green card. I'm not talking about married or asylum. A lot of people think they have to marry someone. So if you're an artist and that's your springboard and you see the U.S. is, they send you a contract, which they should do, by the way, to perform, you can take that contract and apply for the proper visa. So now you're showing the U.S. consulate that, look, I am sought after. Here is the contract. This is what they're going to pay me. And they can give you the right visa. There's no reason why an artist should start off their career or in the middle of their career on a B1, B2. You can have your B1, B2, but you need to have beside that you're performing or you have the proper visa when you're going into the United States and Canada.
Okay. Now, one of the moving away from that in the interest of time, one of the other avenues that people used to sort of stay in the U.S. was to get married to a U.S. citizen. Is that still workable?
It's still a thing. Getting married is the easiest way to get a green card in the United States. That's why so many people go through that process, because it was easy. It's still in play, but now the marriages are scrutinized. They want to make sure the marriage is not solely for the purpose of getting the green card. So if you and I, for example, I come to Grenada, you like me, I like you.
Is that true?
I'm a U.S. citizen. Wink, 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 wink. And you say, all right, let's get married. We're gonna have to show them some things. We gotta show me and you on the bike, take some pictures. We went biking on ride this. Maybe you fly me into St. Lucia for shopping. We take pictures, things I like.
Yeah.
We take pictures, and we have to show that it is a real marriage and not just done for the purposes to get you a green card.
So it's gone are the days when people went up, got married, and one is living in one house somewhere. And that's
gone are those days.
Yeah.
They're scrutinizing you now. They want to see evidence.
There's also that issue where has to do with birthright citizens, the children that are born of aliens, if you want to call them that. What's the situation with this?
Well, it went to the Supreme Court, I think, a couple weeks ago. He didn't make a lot of play with it. This administration, again, wants to attack individuals because, under the Constitution, it's a constitutional question. Under the U.S. Constitution, once you have birth on U.S. soil or one of the like St. Thomas, USVI, one of those places, or a military base, you're automatically a United States citizen. Believe it or not, it's one of the most unique things of the United States. Many countries don't do that. Just because you're born there doesn't mean you're a citizen. But under the U.S. Constitution, it is. And the current administration has said he wants to cut off what he calls birthright citizenship. He's taken the argument all the way to the Supreme Court. And I think Justice Ketanji Moore summed it up best, is that what would that look like?
Yeah.
So when the child is born at the hospital, what do you ask for? Where does a child get a birth certificate? And those were questions I think this administration were not expecting, because she made it so simple, because a lot of us were thinking of it very high. And Justice Ketanji Brown says, explain that to me.
I love this lady.
Oh, I love her. Love her.
Her cool, quiet demeanor.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. I love Ketanji.
Yes. She asks the most simplest of questions. So, okay, what are we going to ask? Okay, so this person walks into a hospital and gives birth.
Yeah.
Okay, where does the child belong?
Yeah.
What documents does that child get? Is this child? And I don't know if you just saw the Caribbean Airlines where the lady gave the birth
on the plane. Yeah.
I was like, girl, you could have held it for 10 more minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is not final as yet. And I looking at what's coming out of the court now, I don't think it will take effect.
Me either.
I don't think it will.
Me either.
I don't think. I think people are now seeing the set of lunacy that is really coming out from some of these administrative decisions out there. So I think this is short-lived, and a number of the other things. But as it relates to non-Americans or who are in America, been there for I've known schoolmates of mine who've been in America for 14, 15, 16, even 19 years, who are not legal per se. They're working a normal job like everybody else. Do they have rights in the event, lives home, Buffalo, and goes to Flatbush to work, ICE picks them up? Do they have a legal fight?
It depends on their story. And Jay and I have been doing this. I remember when we started, Jay, when we just started, people thought we were crazy. Every Wednesday we would say, if you have an immigration option, explore it.
Yeah.
And we were talking to those people. Remember, Jay? We were like
for years.
Saying,
For years.
do it. Don't. And we didn't predict that. We did not predict this was coming, but we just kind of said, look, you came to the U.S. as a child, or you came in and you're just lost. You have to explore your options. So for those individuals, those lifers that have been living in the United States, they probably have a marriage that didn't work or something went wrong. We would have to explore their story, what their path could potentially be under U.S. immigration law. Their pathways, and we'd have to go through that for each and every one. For some of them, when they come to me, I tell them, build yourself, we call it in Jamaica, a little vinegar buttery. Build yourself a little home back, a little place back in your home country, because you're going to go home.
Yeah. And I think it's important to also state that coming home is not a life sentence.
It's not.
It's not supposed to be.
No. A lot of people, I think the perception of people is that coming home is a bad thing. You know, I lived in the United States over 30 plus years. And it's a pleasure to come home. I'm here, and I think that people need to look at home as where they should start building, right? And it's going to be beneficial for the community here. It's going to be beneficial for them, and I think it will be welcome by a lot of people. Come here, build your business, start something.
Yeah. Well, Junior, you said it all just right, because if everybody who is in America at the moment decide I'm going back home, the situation would be reversed. They would be calling for us to come back in,
right?
Because who is an American?
Right, true, and everybody.
And I'm not saying that disrespectfully, but historically, who built America?
Right.
The United States. Immigrants have built it.
Immigrants, and that's what I said. You know, I tell people sometimes to use this story of coming home and investing in your country. You know what I mean? There's so many opportunities. There are so many opportunities that's available in the Caribbean, Grenada, and you know, we could explore the option of getting you a permanent residency. But if all else failed, coming home is not a life sentence.
I notice you all keep saying we. So that means you all have a team up in the U.S. that sort of looks after the interest of our people up there.
Yes, so
tell us about it.
We. Service is my middle name. So we own. I'm the owner of Winter Law Practice. We are a U.S.-based law firm. We have team members all over the globe, but we're based out of Tampa, Florida. And whenever somebody, like you said, your classmates getting any kind of contact with immigration, or they're in the United States and they're looking to legalize themselves, we're a natural stop. We can be kind of like that compass. Okay, you're there. We need to get you here. And our goal is to get everybody legal. That's our goal.
Okay.
And you know, we sit with you. We kind of look at your story. How did you enter the United States? What are your options? Are you an artist? Are you going to marry someone? Are you going to file for asylum? So we kind of explore the options available to you. And that is why I'm saying it's individual specific.
Okay. All right. Another question that comes to mind, let's say someone has been in the U.S. legally, but because they overstayed their given time, they've now become illegal, but they've been gainfully employed with one particular company, let's say for 20 years. And it might sound far-fetched, but these are some realities. And now they've gotten caught and they're sent back home. After 20 years of service, are they eligible for getting compensated from that company?
No.
So that's 20 years wasted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and we see a lot of that. We see a lot of that. First of all, they weren't working on the books. They were working under the table.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yes. So unless that company in their good conscience maybe send them a check and say thank you, but they have not paid into Social Security, they're not protected by some of those labor laws that we're accustomed to. They're not protected. They're up the creek without a paddle.
So the message out there now should be that if you're not doing it legally, right, correctly, stop doing it, because you're wasting. You might be getting a living, a daily bread, but futuristically speaking, you're wasting your time.
I can't tell them to stop, because that's their livelihood. Because here's the thing, the United States is a hypocrite. Because they know these people are there working undocumented. They know.
Yeah.
Some of them are paying taxes, and they'll never get those tax returns back because they have an I-9 or they have a bad social security because they were legal at first. It comes to mind an F1, a person's a student. They come into the United States to study. They have a green social security number, work authorization. Then mommy couldn't pay the tuition for next fall. So now they're out of status. But they now get a job with a big company and they continue to work on that outdated document. And they do so for 5, 10,
15
years. I can't tell them to stop, but the United States know that Johnny is still working over there.
But they wouldn't pay them benefits?
No, they can't because they don't have any documents or anything, but they continue to work. So I say to those people, we have to change the narrative. When we leave, I think as Caribbean people, when we leave, it's like we kiss our island and kiss our country goodbye. We have to change the narrative. Say, you know what, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to make a little way, and I'm going to make my way back. So if you know you're undocumented and you're listening, start thinking of what can I do to land softly? Because we see it in Jamaica, and when they get deported, they land with nothing. They've not invested in a home. They've not invested in anything. And it happens across the Caribbean. I would say look at ways in which you can potentially build something behind you, just in case you can say, you know what, Trump, bye.
Yeah.
I have a little something to go back home to.
And you see, this what we're speaking about here today, in a sense, is what we've been speaking about for the past 10 years on Right Along. I mean, we did this. We keep doing this. We don't stop. A lot of time people don't see it as important information until it hit the fan. Like, yo, this is necessary. But sometimes the least viewed program on the platform is immigration. Because people don't feel like it's important. It's not bacchanal. It's not maweta, as they would say. But you see now, Fonda is getting the calls, and people are so interested in it because they think, this is necessary now.
Yeah. The elephant is in my room.
Yeah. We've been speaking about this for the longest time and telling people to adjust this status. We've been singing that song for the past 10 years religiously.
Become citizens, right? We tell people, become a citizen. You have a green card, 10, 20 years. What are you walking around with a green card in your pocket for? A green card is just an upgraded visa.
And that's where my knowledge came in, because I had a green. Well, before I had a green card, I had no green card. Then I got a green card, and I thought, and a lot of people with green card, they think that, well, they made it. So they started hit on the people who don't have green card. So like, they're here, I'm gonna call ICE on you, I'm gonna call immigration on you, just to know that you just have an upgraded visa.
That's all it is.
They could deport you very easily
with a green card.
Very easily, right? Becoming a citizen, if you meet the threshold of becoming a citizen, go to the process, and Deanna taught me that.
I wasn't gonna say nothing.
So it's protecting you and protecting what you work so hard for. If you live in the United States for as long as I did, I lived there for 30 plus years. I mean, I always came back. I'm always here in Grenada. But the truth and the fact is that if you're in the United States right now and you don't have a green, or you have a green card, or you have some kind of permanent residency, and you meet the threshold of becoming a citizen, go ahead and become a citizen, because it's much more harder. I'm not an attorney, by the way, I must say. I just learned from the best. It's much harder to denaturalize someone that's already a citizen.
What do you think is the reason why some, as Junior just said, you reach that threshold where you can become a citizen, yet still you're holding back from doing it? Why would someone do that?
A lot of people feel, as immigrants, we feel this tight love with home. Like, I'm Jamaican through and through, and I've lived in the United States going on 30 years now, and I don't want to lose any part of my Jamaicanness, and I think a lot of people feel that way. I don't want to give up. I don't want to become an American because then I'm less Grenadian, or I don't want to give up my Jamaican passport. You're not giving up anything. Most of the Caribbean and the United States, you can have both. I have both. I have a U.S. passport and I have a Jamaican passport. In fact, I landed in Grenada on my Jamaican passport. You don't lose anything. Some people too are afraid of the test because they test you. You have to U.S. civics, U.S. history, read and write English.
That might be the main hindrance.
So remember, in a lot of, especially older folks from the Caribbean, remember a lot of them didn't really, the literacy is a little issue.
That could be.
It can be overcome, though. It can be overcome.
But by the way, it's not hard.
It's not hard. But people are just afraid of it. And then we have some of our colleagues that have their little green card and they sell the weed and they get a little arrest. So now they're afraid because they have some criminal history. So those are some of the factors I see why people would delay.
As it is now, this is into what, Trump's second year?
Second year. Mm-hmm.
What do you, looking at the crystal ball, what do you see happening with this situation, current situation, 3-4 years from now?
I think we'll all remember how traumatizing the last 2 years have been for immigrants. But I'm also thinking, I think as immigrants, we're going to start getting our house in order. I think it's going to be a cautionary tale.
So this could be a wake-up call.
Yes. I think I've seen it because I remember, like Jay said, every Wednesday we talk immigration. A couple of the same regulars come on, and a lot of times it was where we were preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you, the phones don't stop ringing. Everybody want you to do something now because it's a wake up. Like, oh my God, the day is here. It's like Noah on the flood and with Noah on the ark.
Yeah.
It's raining.
And I think really, culturally, we are, as a Caribbean people, we're like that. We sort of live on the edge.
Procrastinators, I call them.
Yeah. We wait till it happens. That final, so you look for that final person to get involved inside.
I think what's important also, as Funde, she came to Grenada, she saw Grenada, and there are so many people that need assistance, both Grenadians living in Grenada and those in the diaspora, that, we should have some more immigration knowledge with one-on-one. I don't even mind bringing Funde back at certain points to have symposium conversations so people could be knowledgeable. Because America is still an opportunity. Mm-hmm. You still could do a lot in America. And there's a lot. Come on. There are so much things that you could do in America.
I think if you're saying that, I think maybe I need to reformat my hard drive to see that. I've never been thrilled.
Right. No. But it's just the opportunities. You know what America taught me? As a young man going to America, I went to high school. I finished high school. I went to college there. And I learned that, you have to be hungry, right? Because you're seeing so much things. And when you go to America, even if you spend 6 months or whatever, and when you come back and you look around, you start seeing all sorts of opportunities because you're exposed.
Mm-hmm. Your eyes are open.
Your eyes are open. So you see, if you live within a space for X amount of time, you never see anything else other than that space, right? So going to school, going to college, seeing, I've been to all the states, I've been to all of the different countries, but when you're in the United States and it's a bustle, it's a hustle, it's a bustle, you have to get to it. When you come back, man, you're seeing all the opportunities that exist even here. So you're exposed, and I think that America is still an opportunity. There are many opportunities available in the United States, and there are a lot of false information that is circulating that people are frightened. They feel like they can't get a visa because of there's so much information, and Funde could clear that up. Mm-hmm. So I don't even mind bringing back Funde here at some instant where we can have a big conversation with people come in and speak and ask questions one-on-one, so people could get first-hand information on what's happening.
Especially in this dispensation, I think it's a necessity. It's not a want. It's a necessity now. We need that because I must tell you that this $15,000 bond that was placed on the visa requirement, it's hurting a lot of people. And do you see that being removed anytime soon?
I think eventually a lot. So here's the thing: the U.S. loves their economy, and I think everything they're doing is going to have an economic impact, and it's going to be negative. Because a lot of people probably won't go. Even on the H-1Bs, that's $100,000 they place on H-1Bs. That's our skilled workers. It's going to change things.
Yeah.
It's going to change things. And I think if you and I were to sit here next year and have this same conversation,
it's going to be different.
It's going to be a different conversation. It's going to be a totally different conversation.
Okay. Yeah. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. What do we say to those people who are hurting now? Those in the U.S. who are listening to us, and those who are here who are, desirous of going to the U.S., but the current situation has them in a quandary.
For my people that live in the U.S., tough times don't last. Don't lock yourself away. I would say sit with a professional, sit with someone like myself, and let's just map out a game plan and take some kind of action. And tough times don't last. For my people that are outside of the U.S., my professionals, my artist, or somebody who wants to venture out into the United States, Canada, venture out on the right path. If you're a professional, don't go across the border and say you're going to seek asylum. That's madness.
Okay.
If you're a professional, don't get a B1 and then go work in somebody's backyard as a house sitter, which is what Caribbean people do over and over.
Historically.
We leave on the wrong path, like Jay said, because of lack of information. There are lots of opportunities in the United States.
But do it right.
Just do it right.
Yeah, do it right from the start.
And no judgment, because like I said, my mom, whenever I say that, I'm always cautious. Like, because you're a citizen, now you're telling me to do it right. Listen, take your risk. Because if my mom didn't take her risk, I wouldn't be here. But at the same time, I'm saying to you, I went out there, I got a little bit of information called a law degree and a little bit of information, 21 years doing U.S. immigration law. Here's what I can share with you so your path becomes a little less rocky.
Okay. Junior, parting words?
Yeah, I mean, I'll reiterate what I said earlier. Coming home is not a death sentence. Come home. Let's build the Caribbean. Invest in business, invest in, infrastructure, build a home. That's how I think our focus needs to be. That's where my focus has always been. People might see that it's manifesting more now, but it has always been a plan. Okay. I've never thought of, staying all my days in the United States, so come home and invest in home.
Yeah.
Home, yeah, man.
If we do it right, we could have the situation could be inversed.
Yes.
People would want to come to the Caribbean.
Yeah.
For the opportunities, because when you really look at it, we are the ones that really doing the things out there. We are the one that, look at Silicon Valley. You understand? Look at any case, Fondi, it's been a pleasure.
My pleasure.
I wasn't expecting that depth of conversation outside of the ATVs yesterday. All right, but we went rather deep. Junior, thank you.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure.
Yeah,
my absolute pleasure.
We're going to do this again.
Absolutely.
In the not too distant future, even if it's via Zoom.
Yes.
We're just a click away.
There you go.
Thank you very much. Folks, I have been speaking with immigration attorney Fondi, together with Junior George. And thank you for being a part of the audience this morning, as always. It's always a pleasure. That's it for the conversation. Have a good one, everybody.
Thank you. All right, thank you.